what's up, everybody, and welcome to the Jim Carrey Project. This is the project where we are going through all of Jim Carrey's movies in chronological order. I am your host, Brian Kondrach, and with me, as always, is...
Carrie Grant.
And today we just got finished watching Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. It was directed by Brad Seiberling, screenplay by Robert Gordon, based on the stories, the books, A Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. It stars Jim Carrey, Jude Law, Liam Aiken, Emily Browning, Timothy Spall, Catherine O'Hara, Billy Connolly, Cedric the Entertainer, Louis Guzman, Jennifer Coolidge, Meryl Streep, and a few others that just kind of pop up randomly.
Whoever else wants to be in it can be in it.
Basically it is. Like, who wants to be here?
Yes.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So, what'd you think?
I think ask me tomorrow.
Yeah, I know, right? There's a lot
I think I need
going on.
to, think about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
My first impression was not... I loved it.
No.
But I think it could grow on me.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in that space of like, it might, I don't think it'd ever be my favorite movie, but I think I might appreciate it more in a couple of days.
It's one of those things where it's like, man, this is so dark. And I mean, just the name of the title alone it's a series of unfortunate events. So you know you're going into it being dark, but like, there's just so much weird little characters and so many weird little people and choices and like darkness and sadness and followed by with just tiny little glimpses of light. And you're just like, what am I supposed to be enjoying this movie? Or am I supposed to be like really distraught about this whole thing the whole time? Yeah. I
still haven't got my head around it yet.
Yeah.
Honestly, I haven't. And
so what is it that you don't like, you don't get about it?
So I like, most of the time I was like, because, I always thought it was like a children's movie, but it seemed like a dark children's movie.
Yeah.
So I was like, I hadn't seen it before. Yeah. There was a reason. Like, not that it, like, I never went out of my way. It didn't look like something I would want to have seen, you know? And then, like, through the whole thing, I was just like, this is a lot of bad. You know? It's, like, a lot of bad and kind of creeping me out, even with, like, the leeches and stuff. And, like... But then the last little bit when they were like, we warned you this isn't a happy story. They say it in the beginning and they say it in the end. Like, we told you this isn't about a happy elf or whatever. They have that weird opening with the weird elf thing. Yeah, which is creepy too. But that guy, I mean, it was like, that's not what the story's about. The story, and then the story was about them sticking together and overcoming things and then I was like, okay, I kind of get the message, like not all children's childhoods are happy, and maybe this is a good movie for them. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, we were talking about it right before this movie because your kids are here in the other room when we were about to watch it and everything. You're like, can they watch it? Should they watch it?
And I looked it up and I was like, no.
It's not a kid's movie. It doesn't feel
especially
like
my youngest. My oldest could probably have handled it fine, but he would have been like, well, this isn't very fun.
Yeah, why are we watching this?
He would have been like, all right, can I go outside now?
Yeah.
So...
Bye. Well,
what about you?
I've seen it once before. I think I saw it in theaters when it actually came out just because it was like, oh, yeah, it's another Jim Carrey movie. Let's see it. But, like, I had no idea. Like, I don't know anything about Lemony Snicket's in the actual books. Like, I know there's, like, 7 or 8 of them, if not more than that. Like, it's a big saga. And it's just... After watching this, there was really no interest into diving into the stories themselves because it's just... Like, if I wanted to read about child trauma, like, I could just open the newspaper or, like, go to the internet somewhere and be like, this is child trauma. Like, oh, the kid got murdered by his stepdad.
Do you think it reads better? I mean, you would think if it's this popular, it reads better.
I would hope so. And it's like, I kind of want to go read one now, just, like, because we revisited it.
Yeah.
And, like, I do know, like, through research that this did not touch on... half of the books. Like, I know that this production and this particular movie where it's like it only went at least up to the 3rd book, which is like there's a lot still to be discovered in that universe, but obviously we're like, no, we can't do a sequel. It doesn't have enough production. Production was too much. I don't know. So like, let's just put a the end on it. Like, that's just what it's like. Yeah. So it's like, it feels like there's still something unresolved in all of this.
I get that too, for sure. It does feel like they're, there would be more to it or whatever, or you want to know what happened to the kids or what what was the next adventure, whether I'm guessing you would assume it's still bad things because they never told you where they went.
Keep on
so we don't know, but
the light at the end of the tunnel of this movie was probably just like another train coming or like a nuclear explosion at the end. Kids
almost dying, their parents died, all their caretakers died. It's just like,
what is this about?
No, if I'm like, you gotta kind of be in the right headspace for this kind of thing.
Being tired or any kind of like.
And I'm okay with dark movies sometimes, but like kid dark movies feels harder for me. And then also just, and I get, like I said, there was like the message in the end, which I think tried to like validate why it was there, but
so I do know Netflix did a version of this.
Yeah,
and
it was a series.
Three seasons of a series with Neil Patrick Harris. And I do remember watching the first season and being like, this is, comparing to the movie, like the series was very much, I don't know if it was because of the writers or like just if a book like this is so episodic in its kind of activity and like you go from one bad situation to another, like doing it in 30-minute increments is a lot more digestible and like also like just the characters, you have a lot more time in each episode to like get to know a character before you move on,
because it was just like, one bad thing per episode.
And then whereas the movie is just like, man, this is not gonna get better at any point, is it?
And then you kind of are hopeful when they like meet a new caretaker and they like seem a little better, but then they die over and over again,
or disappear,
then
die.
Oh gosh. I mean, I could see maybe that, and like if you probably could make it more lighthearted. You probably could make it a little funnier, and I haven't seen the series, but I would imagine that they took a little bit of a different approach. I mean, that's what a lot of kids shows and movies are at. Like kids are getting in trouble, or kids are in a sticky situation. Not quite this intense, but like more like aliens are gonna attack us. Something like that.
Cartoonish aliens that are just misunderstood, not necessarily malicious, or like, we just wanted your pizza bites. We did it. Yay, kids show.
But I mean, that's nothing new. So you could do it in a lighter way than this movie did.
I recommend that you go and watch at least one or two episodes of the Neil Patrick Harris Netflix version, because it like. The Count Olaf characters feel very familiar because they're playing this bad actor badly acting throughout the movie. But Neil Patrick Harris just has that same kind of, I feel like his particular acting style is a little bit more fit to it than Jim Carrey's like big, broad, bad actor, overacting kind of thing.
I mean, Neil Patrick Harris always has a bit of a...
he's got a musical theater background, I think.
Maybe. But I feel like he has like a sense of humor about himself. I'm not saying Jim Carrey doesn't. I think he does. But in a very light way. I mean, I can imagine that it was... And I think he's... I think he's okay kind of doing that. So I think, you're right. Probably
let's talk about Jim Carrey, just for at least a little bit. That's
an interesting part of it. Like, I didn't really know what it was about at all. I didn't know he was a bad actor. I didn't know he played all those characters. Like, I didn't know anything going into this. And I will say, like, he was entertaining. When you're seeing all the different things he's doing.
They could have really set it up a little bit earlier to like know that he is an actor and not necessarily a good one. They make like one quick line where it's like, someone in his profession doesn't live well.
They didn't say what his profession was. I was wondering what that was.
Like, you live in squalor. Oh, he's an actor. Oh, thanks. Makes you feel really good about my life choices.
That's funny. I remember thinking that. I remember when they got to the house, I thought, I'm going to look around and see if I could figure out what he was. And I still didn't figure it out right away.
He was just messy.
And he was messy, and he kind of did some like dramatical like movements and stuff, but I just thought, well, he's just being a weird character. I still didn't know he was an actor at that point.
It's not until like 30 minutes in where
I didn't know until the acting
troupe
came. That's when I was like, oh, okay, they could have cleared that up.
Should have told us that from the beginning.
You need to walk us through things sometimes, you know.
So, as a bad actor, how do you think he performed?
I thought he was pretty good. I mean, I love the look. You know, they let him play a little bit. Like he always does a little dinosaur thing early on. It was really funny. I always like when he does that one. It just makes me laugh because my kids do that one too, and I'm like, it's funny. It's funny to watch.
A little dinosaur walking
around.
Yeah, I feel like this is a good show or a good movie where he can do his improvising on a level that wouldn't necessarily be the same as like in Bruce Almighty, where he's supposed to be this endearing character. He could just be over the top obnoxious, more of his improv.
And he is,
but like as the Count, like as playing the Count, he is devious, and he's like, he's very like, he's slimy. Like he really plays slimy really, really well in this movie. It's with Jim Carrey's particular brand of getting all up in people's faces or just being little, like his Grinch comes out a little bit in this one, but and then like his Ace Ventura comes out a little bit with being that manic thing. So he's kind of got a lot of different like aspects to him as the slimy Count.
I agree. Like as a Count, I mean, he was very believable as like the bad guy. I guess you're right. Like the funny, he's a little bit funny as the Count as you kind of get to know him, like just because you understand what's going on. But like he's really funny then when he's pretending to be the other characters. I think because then it's not all you don't see all the badness of Count Olaf, I guess. But I do like that Jim Carrey played a character who is bad. I feel like there's been a couple of characters we've watched where he's not all good, but I feel like most of the time he's a good guy, and like this one, there's really no good to him. No, which I kind of
the Grinch was just misunderstood. Yep. But he ended up was good-hearted, really, but he was trying to keep it down. But this one is very much just like there's no redeeming qualities.
No, exactly, which is interesting. Like sometimes, I mean, like sometimes Jim Carrey's too nice. Like I actually do think that sometimes because I think everyone likes him. We've said it a lot. It's like, well, he's just a nice guy, but it's kind of good to see. Oh, you actually really could not like him. It's like if he really, we
always talk about his acting with his eyes and how endearing his choices are, but he went really pretty far off, like from what he is used to. Really still earnest. It was still an earnest, like he is that kind of Count Olaf character in this one. So it's incredible in that aspect of just how, like, again, it's another movie where you kind of forget that it's Jim Carrey and you're just like, ew, he's just slimy and gross.
Yeah, and then the times that you kind of do think he's funny or you like him is when he's playing, you know, the sailor guy or the science guy, and he's like hiding the bad, but he's trying to act good, but then you still see the bad. I mean, it's a lot of layers there.
Yeah, there is. I imagine it's pretty hard to be acting as as a character, acting as another character. It's doing an impression of somebody else's impression kind of thing. I'm a little upset in this one because, and this is where the Netflix series comes in and has definitely some like benefits, is that you don't get to see enough of Jim Carrey doing other characters as Count Olaf doing characters, right? Okay. So we have a long section of the movie where he's the snake guy. It's not a huge section, but he definitely is like a good amount of character work into that one. Right. And then when we get to the sea captain guy, it's very much just basically an introduction of he's the sea captain, and now he's off in the thing, and now he's back to Count Olaf and stuff. Yeah. So I feel like we got a little bit like less than what we could have in a movie like this, where the whole premise is this bad actor is badly acting to foil these kids from having a good and happy life. Sure, you know? I'm curious what other what other characters he might be able to have played or are in the story themselves. Right. So
and then I guess at the end he is the actor in the play getting married, which is just kind of a different...
It's a little meta,
I guess
but
like it's another
it's just him basically. It's just
really
him being the actor that Count Olaf wants to be. There's so many little meta things in this one.
But I mean, I think he probably had fun. Like he to me, he looked like himself, but he looks so different too. Like I just couldn't stop looking at his teeth.
They were a little jacked up.
Yeah, the eyebrows. And like the nose. So he had obviously little prosthetics and stuff like that. So I don't know. I found him. I don't know. I did enjoy watching him. Once I kind of got past like. The whole movie is like dark. And physically dark. Like there's literally never any color anywhere.
Mostly matte and like
everything's
just low
black
monotone,
and gray,
sepia.
Black, gray, dark, everything. Yeah. Even all the settings and stuff too. Like everything, it's always cloudy outside.
Yeah.
Which maybe plays into the sun coming in the end. I don't know. It's like a glimpse of sunlight. Finally,
we finally get the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's supposed to be like that too. But just like a lot of.
It's a heavier movie for a kids movie. Yeah. That's for sure.
I don't think my kids will ever like it. I just don't think, even when it's appropriate for them to watch it, I can't imagine them being like 14, like, that's awesome.
Yeah, well, I actually have a note that was like, man, this is a slow moving movie. Like, right up until the point where we get, like, almost to where, what's her name? Meryl Streep's character is, like, the one that's so scared of everything happening.
Yeah.
Like, up until she disappears, the movie just seems like it is going so incredibly slow.
It does feel slow.
But then you get to her and it's like she disappears, we find her again, and then everything just like
she always brightens the room. I enjoyed her acting is always fun to me, and I enjoyed her even though she was, still not the best person, but like, maybe that's it. Maybe like throw some celebrities in and and they're good actors too, but like, Meryl Streep and Dustin Hoffman's in there a little bit, and
this movie.
I recognize that person.
There's so many actors in this that it's like, how and why did all of these want to be like? Either they had to have had connections to it, or like,
or people. Did people read the books and were like, I need to be a part of this? Well, that's why I'm like, maybe I should read one just to be like. Did I miss something?
Yeah,
maybe this is fantastic, and we're just missing it because we've only seen the movie.
Yeah, and it's like a whole Harry Potter series that we haven't even like touched on or like been a part of or been privy to.
Yeah.
Maybe there's this whole subculture of Lemony hardcore Lemony Snickets.
I also wrote down steampunk because it felt very steampunk to me.
I do like some of the aesthetics in this, where just like the character and like the technology of like the car phone is like an actual.
But an old-fashioned looking black phone.
And then like the radio being literally just like the two spools and things. Like there's so much cool technology.
That's so steampunk, I feel like.
The cars were fun. I like the design of the cars were cool. Like, but then there's also like, I guess it is very steampunk. I never thought about that because it's very Victorian.
All the clocks. There was always like, the Lemony Snicket was writing inside like a tower
of a giant clock tower.
Which always, whenever I see clocks, I always think of
steampunk
stuff. And
it
just the way they dressed, even that little girl, I kept looking at her, just like, that dress must be, she's so tiny. That dress looks like it weighed like 30 pounds.
It weighs as much as she does,
And that's they wear all the big heavy dresses and the things, and they all kind of had that still going on. And even when Jim Carrey wore a lot of the time was very...
Victorian-esque. I like that. I definitely like that about that movie, probably more than some of the movies.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe there's parts of it that will grow on me because now when I think about it, I kind of like that, and even like the darkness. Now that I know what it is, like I would maybe have enjoyed it more. Like, okay, that's just what it is. Like. It's dark and gloomy and moody, and like if it was raining outside right now, you just like want to sit.
Put this on and just be even more gloomy.
Like have a cup of tea and just like get into the darkness of it. I could see that getting there, but I'm just not there today.
No, I get it.
It's too hot outside.
It is too hot outside. So we had Jim Carrey as the Count. We had Jude Law as Lemony Snicket in the Netflix version. I don't want to turn this into a whole Netflix versus this movie version. Well, it was
you have a reference.
It was Patrick Warburton who played Putty from Seinfeld, or he was the Tick, and then he was Kronk from Emperor's New Groove. Liam Aiken, Emily Browning, both very strong youth actresses.
I recognized him from he was in that movie.
He's been
Stepmom, I think.
I
remember he was smaller then.
And then Emily Browning has done a lot more. Like she's actually
big now. I feel like that might have one of her earlier ones. I felt like I recognized her too, but I recognized her as an older, older actress
adult,
not as much as a child.
Yeah, she's definitely had a pretty strong
great. I
career.
thought
she was in Sucker Punch. Oh, she was the lead in Sucker Punch. I didn't remember that one. That was a bad movie. Pompeii. Lots of TV, lots of some Sleeping Beauty.
She has that look to her.
Yeah. Pouty lips.
Big lips, yeah. I thought they did great, though. I thought the kids were all very solid. I love how they interpreted the baby Sonny's babbles as words.
A set of twins.
Which just made it so funny.
Kara and Shelby Hoffman.
Oh, they were so cute. They were adorable. I wanted to hold one.
That baby, actually, them as kids actually were very adorable. I think the baby has some of the most personality in the movie.
Yeah, I love the twist they put on it, because it must be hard. I mean, you have a little toddler walking around babbling, doing this and that, and so how do you play with that?
Yeah,
and
let's just make it.
That was really smart.
Make it
great.
The dialogue.
Yeah, it's
whatever
hilarious.
She does, we could.
And I like that the two others understand her. Oh yes, I agree. Kind of thing.
That is correct.
So yeah, that was really cute. I really liked all that.
We got Catherine O'Hara is in there. She shows up.
Too.
It's funny that I thought
she was going to be bad, because whenever you see her, you're like, you never know if she's going to be the good one or the bad one.
A little bit of a malicious intent to it somewhere. I just finished watching 6th season of Schitt's Creek. And she plays the mom in that one, and it's just so funny. I don't want to say anything because it would be spoilers. But
don't spoil it. It's not far off.
It's so funny when you get to it on Schitt's Creek. You'll be like, that's funny. And then Billy Connolly, one of my favorite English actors.
I love him too. Is he Scottish or English?
I don't know if he's Scottish.
I always think of him as
He's
Scottish,
probably Scottish.
I don't know.
He's probably Scottish.
I like him too, though.
And I'm wrong on that one. But he is always really funny. He's done a whole lot. Glasgow, Scotland. You are correct.
He has a Scottish accent.
Yeah, I can't tell. He's been around in a lot of stuff.
No, I think he's character. Great too. And he's I don't know.
True and earnest in this movie.
I always want to I want to hug too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's still so many other actors. Cedric the Entertainer had maybe 6 lines,
and
but he's the
a random one in there too. He just kind of showed up and then had some important things to say, but there was no
precursor to it. There he is.
He showed up and I gotta talk. I'm important here,
Luis Guzman is one of my favorite actors.
I like him too.
He doesn't have any dialogue.
I was listening toward the end. I think he said 3 or 4 words.
1 or 2 things during
it was in the play. Yeah, toward the end.
I love him so much. I remember seeing him for the first time in Count of Monte Cristo and just being this guy is my favorite actor now. Really Jennifer Coolidge, which I don't know.
She didn't have any lines either.
Who was she?
Oh, she was one of the
one of the troop members?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She only had a few lines too, and that other lady too.
Oh, she's the mother. Was she the mother from American Pie?
Mm-hmm.
Not Stifler's mom.
Yeah, she's that one.
and she's also in.
She's always around.
The Reese Witherspoon movie, the Legally Blonde.
Yes.
She was the stylist in there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of freaking. Oh, and Dustin Hoffman showing up
randomly, and he had a few. He even had more lines. Some of these other ones who were in it more. And he was just an audience member in the play.
He just wanted to show up. I was like, oh yeah, this seems like
Maybe
a fun
he
movie to be in.
Friends with somebody.
He happened to be on the lot that day.
He's all right, Meryl's working. Let me just go down there and see what's going on. Oh, why don't you put a costume on and say a couple lines?
Yeah. So, this movie is so funny because I was doing research on it, and it had a lot of production issues where they went through a couple different drafts. They had one writer who wrote a script, and then the director quit, and so then the writer was like, "No, I can't. This script's not for this new director, so somebody else can rewrite it." And they redid it, and then it was just kept getting production pushed back, and then they kept doing They moved from Hollywood. I can't speak today. They moved from Hollywood out to North Carolina to some old NASA site. So it was bonkers how much
really
was going on in this kind of movie where it's what is happening.
So let's just talk.
Nickelodeon was doing it, and then they needed other producers to finally get it done. It was a mess. It was absolutely kind of a mess.
So was Lemony... and I just didn't know this either, so I just looked up. So Lemony Snicket is the pen name for Daniel... Is it Handler? Who is the author of the books. And did he have anything to do with any of the movie?
I don't think he did. He probably got
the rights. Yeah. That's it? Okay.
He said it was a James Mason type, whoever that is. James Mason. I don't know. But I think he had some a little bit of take on who they wanted to be as the Count Olaf.
Right.
But I think it was mostly that Arthur wrote it and was like, here's an idea, and let you guys go with what you guys think you need to do.
I mean, it's an interesting... I'd like what I want to do after this is do more research on the actual, like, the book series and the author and what's going on there. You know, I feel like they took it from that idea and did what they wanted to do with it. But I'm curious on it has a kind of a Roald Dahl kind of feel to me a little bit, which I don't know if that's intentional or not. Like, I felt like just the story. I also wrote down Royal Tenenbaums. Yeah. Because it felt like that to me too early on.
It's like an early Wes Anderson
weird,
kind of
yeah. Like, it was just, I don't know. I feel like I want to
weird aesthetics.
I want to do some more research into, like, I don't know, just why?
Yeah, why did we choose all this stuff?
I don't know what I want to know, but I want to know why.
I was looking at this thing right now, and it's like, the filming was pushed back, and then the design was mostly for ambiguous kind of feel. So this timeless feeling to it, steampunks of the time. We talked about that. What surprised me the most is that ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, which is like George Lucas's, I think, original visual effects studio, helped create the visual effects in the movie, but. Like, they wanted to use as few digital effects as possible, so a lot of
a whole house full in the ocean.
Yeah, I know,
like,
right?
That's gotta be digital.
What is going on there? The snakes in Uncle Monty's house were real snakes and animatronics.
Yeah, no, I kind of did believe that.
The Deadly Viper.
Except for maybe the Viper, but the rest seemed like real snakes.
Yeah. I mean, they had a pretty big budget for this. And I mean, it might be because there were so many random cameos and actors in there.
Yeah.
Or it might be
Meryl Streep definitely had a large part.
Yeah. Jim Carrey probably getting his $20 million.
And then
who knows?
Was it Connolly? Is that it?
Billy Connolly.
Yeah, he probably had a pretty good. Yeah.
Jude Law obviously is a pretty big actor in 2000.
Although he wasn't actually in it all that much either.
This is
you didn't even really see his face.
Yeah, you'd see him walk away, which might have been a body double.
I was never convinced that was actually him in
there. The voice was just him.
Yeah.
It was just a body double for everything else.
Totally.
Oh my goodness. So, it had a budget of $140 to $142 million, which is seems like a huge budget.
That's
big.
It's
a lot of graphics or art in the background, and like the design of all the sets probably took a lot of work. On a bunch of different sound stages.
Yeah.
The guy who is it? Barry Sonnenfeld did Addams Family Values, and Get Shorty.
Definitely has that feeling too, doesn't it?
But I don't know if he's the guy that ended up actually directing it. Yeah, Brad Silberling.
That has an Addams Family vibe to it too.
Yeah, so that was just kind of the idea that they would go with Barry Sonnenfeld, and then Brad Silberling showed up, and it was like, I don't know what this thing is, so I'll read first 3 novels, and then I'll put $100 million into it, and we'll see what happens.
Someone loved the books enough to be like, we should make this movie,
need to put money into this one. So it's just a strange movie. It's such a weird feeling after watching it, where you're just like, is life good?
Yeah.
Am I excited to be talking about this?
No.
I like Jim Carrey in it.
Yeah.
He's big. He's making fun of himself as an overactor kind of character.
I like that.
The characters and the kids are pretty good.
Well, everything's solid. It's just I think we're just not in the right mood for it. I don't know.
And then it made $211.5 million. So,
well, it's Jim Carrey. It sounds like it's a kid's movie.
Yeah,
there's kids in it.
Not.
So I could see that people would have gone to the theaters.
Yeah.
And then left thinking, well, what's that? That was weird.
Is that about?
This is what I think. That's what I think happened.
Yeah.
For a lot of them, unless they were fans of the book already, in which case they would have been. Excited.
Yeah, let's go see it. Let's see what it is. I do remember hearing a lot of people be like, "Yeah, we should go see this because these books are good." I was like, maybe I should read these books.
Yeah.
So. Let's go ahead and start wrapping it up a little bit. So what is your rating on this one?
Oh goodness, 6.
Just
6?
6?
Everybody was good. It's just the story. It wasn't appealing to me on this one, but everybody else did good.
I'll follow closely. I'll give it a 6.5 or a 7.
Okay.
Just because, Jim Carrey playing other characters or playing a character playing other characters seems like a challenge.
Yeah.
Overall, I like the visual effects and the visuals of it. But it just kind of drags. It kind of just drags on a little bit. Yeah. It did win a best makeup for the Academy Awards, which is a pretty good design on there. Yeah. Also had a video game that was supposed to come out for it and like do it. So
I guess they get out of different situations.
Yeah, which I don't know how they would do that. How they would do that video game. So it's a nice short episode. We'll go ahead and call it. Doesn't feel like there's a whole lot to keep talking about with this one. So thank you guys.
Watch it on a rainy day.
Yeah, watch it when it's cloudy and gross and you don't have much else to do. Put some tea on and feel cozy, but also bad about yourself. Well, I don't know.
Maybe it makes you feel better that your life is not as bad as the kid's life is.
I have had a series of quite fortunate events in my life.
I'm doing all right.
Yeah. So check it out. Anyway, we'll go ahead and wrap this episode up. So thank you guys for tuning in for the Jim Carrey Project. As always, I'm Brian Kondrach.
I'm Carrie Grant.
Please like, subscribe, comment, tell us what you think about our project. Find it on podcasts, wherever you get podcasts. And join us next time when we will be watching Fun with Dick and Jane, which is a much more lighthearted movie.
It literally has fun in the title, so it should be fun.
It will be a good time because that's one of my favorite movies too. I saw that one in theaters and I was very excited about it when it came out. Fun. So you guys stay safe, be kind to each other, and we will see y'all next time.
Bye. I feel like you totally took my bye.
Bye. There you go.
Bye.
Watch out.